Say hello if you're joining me live. I'm so excited to dive into all the fun things and to really explore what 2024 has to offer to us. So definitely say hello, leave a comment, and let me know you're here if you're on the replay, if you're live. Okay, I see some of you are with me already. Beautiful, awesome. Hi, Nadine. Hi, Dottie. All right. So, I already feel like the excitement and the magic that this new year is bringing. It already feels like good energy to me. Let me know in the comments now, like, how are you feeling? You know, we're a few days in, we still have, it's January 6th. So I'm going to do like a 2024 overview right now. And we're going to talk about like some of the astrology, and I'll do card readings for the energy and the flavor of 2024. This is obviously a collective reading. If you want something more personalized, I do have that available also. So just put that in the comments or send me a DM, let me know, and we can get you booked for that. But yeah, how are you feeling? Are you feeling this exciting new energy? And also, I was going to say the new moon is also coming on the 11th, right? So, you know, everybody talks about resolutions and oh, it's January 1st and this and that. But if you didn't get started yet on that, it's totally fine because Mercury was in retrograde the first few days of 2024. And like I said, we have a new moon on January 11th, right? So this is meant to help you tune in to what you want for 2024, to get you thinking, to get you realizing what's happening like in the sky, right? And astrology is always about like the current transits and then how it interacts with your birth chart, right? So today I'll just be talking about the current transits and how that's affecting all of us as a whole, right? But then that's why I was saying I do have sessions available if you want a more personalized approach. Then we can look at how your birth chart interacts with the current transits, because it's all about those aspects and then your personal chart and how that's working for you, right? But yeah, so anyway, so just I'll be here again on the 11th for a new moon event. So that's another opportunity to come join me, to check in, to set your intentions, to really get yourself grounded and connected and set those intentions. You know, sometimes you need to think about it a little bit, right? After being here with me now, watching this now, might get your juices flowing. I'm sure it will. I'm sure you'll tune in and learn some stuff, but then also you can join me again on the 11th, right? To really kind of focus again. What do you want on the year? Like tune in more, right? And do it all with the new moon energy, which is always beautiful because new moon is all about manifestations and new beginnings and intentions, right? Such as the new year is right now too. So perfect. Okay, in the comments I see, hi Margot, hi Louise, hi Robin, hi, okay, I see, I feel a shift coming and feel like it's going to be awesome, beautiful. I feel wonderful energy right now. Yes, yes. It's like even just the idea of like new possibilities, right? You get to breathe this new life and this new energy into your life, into how you want it to be, into who you decide to be, by the way, right? Because a lot of times it's just about how you show up, how you handle things, how your energy is, right? Like it's who you decide to be in each moment, so much more than all the things. Obviously, the goals and intentions are important, right? Or I wouldn't be here. But the whole thing is your mindset and your energy, and who you decide to be is such a big part of it, right? So we can have a fresh start at any moment, right? But it's especially exciting right now with the new year. Then we'll have a new moon. So anyway, and I also have an exciting, I'm going to have a really cool challenge, a free challenge coming up for you guys too. So just keep your eyes peeled on the Facebook group and look for that announcement, because that's going to be really amazing. I'll just say that to get started, to give you guys a little heads up without telling you all the details right now. But that'll be pretty cool and powerful. Oops. I gotta go. I scrolled up at me. I have you guys live on my phone, so I'm making sure I see your comments. And all right. So I think it's an 8-year, right? So I'm going to get into the astrology, but according to numerology, it's an 8-year, right? So that alone is like super exciting, even if you just think about the fact that it's an 8-year, right? because an 8-year is like prosperity, right? And when you think about like all the things we've been through in the past many years, it's just like, okay, yes, I can align with prosperity, right? It's like power, success, authority, abundance, empowerment, and prosperity and success, right? And that is what the number 8 is associated with. So that alone is like, oh, okay, I can get down with this, right? I can dig this. I can think about what does success look like for me, right? These are some really important questions to ask yourself. What does success look like for you? What does it mean for you to be abundant and feel abundant, right? What would that look like? What would have to happen in your world for all of that to happen, right? So I suggest after this event, you also do some journaling on those kinds of things, right? And what does success mean for me? And how do I want to feel, right? Because a lot of times we want to manifest all these things, and yes, go for it. Absolutely. This is definitely a year to go for it. But also, we want the desired feeling at the end of the manifestation, right? So maybe success for you is power or security or freedom or peace, right? Like, so success can be different for different people. So I think it's important to tune into what does prosperity, abundance, success. You can do all the words, you can interchange the words, you can pick the word that you like most, but what does that mean for you? If you truly were abundant, if you truly were successful, what else would change? What else would shift? How would you feel and how would you show up, right? Because that's like the important things, right? And sometimes it's hard to get clear, right? This is why I'm a coach. Sometimes it's hard to get clear. You think like, oh, I want this and I want that, and you get all, you overanalyze. I'm sure we all overanalyze sometimes, right? Or we get overwhelmed. When this is where like a session with me or becoming a one-on-one client with me is really beneficial and powerful, because I get you clear, I get you focused, we go deep, we clear out the old, we clear out the things that are holding you back. And your confidence and your power rises. You believe in yourself and you go after what you want. I mean, it's funny. I'm a Scorpio sun sign, and like all those things are basically kind of Scorpio energies, right? And that's like what I help my clients with. They become focused and they get it done. So back to the number 8 year, right? It's considered like a karmic number because it balances the material and the immaterial worlds, right? Like societies are going to find themes of manifesting abundance, dealing with power dynamics, which is also a Scorpio issue, and reaping what has been sown in previous years. So that's a beautiful thing when you think about reaping what has been sown in previous years, right? How many times did you think like, oh, I did all this work, or I thought this was right, or blah, 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 whatever. And then like, it didn't work out the way you wanted it to, right? And then you're like, kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that, or you give up, right? Now, it is important to pay attention because sometimes things need to be tweaked for certain. Sometimes you even need to change it altogether. But if you wouldn't have done the other thing, then you might not have realized the thing that you should be doing. So everything has a purpose, right? As long as you're showing up and you're trying, right, then there's really no such thing as failure. You know what I mean? But I just love that phrase, reaping what has been sown, right? That just feels abundant right there, doesn't it? So it's a year where your effort can really lead to tangible rewards, right? So that's really key and important. In the comments, it says, I'm guilty of going back and forth, right? Not being clear on the goal. And then somebody says it's snowing. Well, it's raining where I am here, not snowing, but it did say it was going to snow, but anyway. It always looks pretty when the snow starts falling and everything's just like white and the snow's not messy, right? And it's just like this beautiful blanket over everything. All right, so we have a few significant things going on with the astrology this, in 2024. And then after I talk a little bit about this, I will do a card reading for 2024, okay? The replay will be up in the Facebook group. Confident Magnetic Women is the name in the Facebook group. So the replay will be up here. If you can't stay the whole time, or if you're catching me later, please say hello, replay, let me know you're here, let me know you're joining, right? So So I think the most significant thing, and you guys, I'm sure if you've been following me or anyone into astrology for a while, you've probably heard about it already. But the most significant thing for 2024 in astrology is Pluto entering Aquarius. And it's been, the reason why I'm saying you probably already heard about it is because it's been going back and forth a little bit from Capricorn into Aquarius. It's been going back and forth. But on January 20th, it goes into, Pluto goes back into Aquarius, and it's going to stay there until 2044, except for September 1st to November 20th of 2024, it goes back into Capricorn. So for like a month and a half, it goes back into Capricorn, not until September, and then it goes right back into Aquarius. Okay. So it's a 20-year essentially, right? Dynamic. And, you know, I've definitely talked about the age of Aquarius and Pluto and Aquarius and all these things. And it's a really powerful time. And honestly, it's not a coincidence that you're here during this time, right? As Pluto is shifting to Aquarius, because Pluto is transformation, Pluto is rebirth, Pluto is power. You know what I mean? And then Aquarius is like the greater good, like what's best for humanity, you know what I mean? And technology and stuff too. But it's basically like a collective turn towards like that humanitarian issues, individual freedom, like revolutionary ideas, right? It's going to break down old structures and make way for like better ways of living. You know what I mean? I mean, I've said before, there's a spiritual ascensioning happening. I mean, that's been happening honestly since COVID. Like part of it was this big spiritual ascension that's happening, right? A lot of people waking up, a lot of people getting in touch with themselves, a lot of people getting in touch with their spirituality, obviously, even the government, right, breaking down in certain ways, right, to make way for like, well, what's a better way to come together as a community? What's a better way to just live and be, right? And it's going to happen on both an individual level, right, for each of you individually, as well as like community and maybe government, changing a little bit and things like that. Aquarius rules astrology, right? Aquarius is like that genius energy, honestly, too. And it also is kind of like, it can be what's the word? Kind of like unexpected, sudden, right? It can be sudden changes. So yeah, so when you put that all together, it's just kind of like a big shift, right? And again, it's a 20-year period. So it doesn't mean when January 20th comes that like, oh, an upheaval is going to happen or anything, right? It can be like a slower opening and digestion and progression, right? We'll see what happens. I mean, we do have the election coming in November this year, right? Later in the year. And it'll be in Capricorn for a minute there, which rules government. So it really ties in together with that breaking down, which is really interesting. So have you all heard about Pluto and Aquarius before? Let me know in the comments. But we also have Saturn and Pisces right now, right? And Pisces is definitely that spiritual energy, that spiritual element. Like meditating, again, that spiritual ascension, really getting in touch with yourself. So having that and Pisces, while we have Pluto and Aquarius, there's definitely a bigger spiritual element to it as well, right? A lot of people are going to really get in touch with their soul selves this year, develop spiritual practices. I'm sure more coaches and healers are going to come out of the woodwork and things like that. And really own and honor who they are, right? I'm definitely at a point in my life where I'm like, yeah, I don't care if I'm the weirdo who likes this, and this, crystals and tarot and astrology and whatever else, right? I mean, obviously I'm also into mindset and leadership too, but I do not care how it's perceived by others and who agrees with it and who doesn't agree with it. Like, if you're not okay with it, then I guess you're not my people, and that's fine. And you can view me as like some weirdo dancing on the hill with a bunch of crystals if you want to, right? Because I'm totally fine with who I am, and I'm comfortable in my spirituality, right? And me expressing myself. You know, and that's the other thing about Aquarius. Like I said, they're kind of the genius, but they also are like kind of eccentric, right? When you think about a person who's an Aquarius. So they don't care. They do their own thing. They're usually steps ahead. So technology is going to have advancements. AI is going to get even bigger, in case some of you aren't down with AI, right? I definitely have been using Chat GPT for a little bit now and things like that, right? AI is going to get bigger and bigger because Aquarius also rules technology, right? So there's going to be some changes, but it doesn't take away the human component. You know what I mean? It doesn't take away the coaching industry or things like that, right? We still need that human component. But yeah, but anyway, they Aquarius like to be themselves. They're a little eccentric, right? So it's really time to, like, with Pluto and Aquarius, to figure out like, who are you as an individual, right? And connect with that on a soul level, and then show up as that, as well as, of course, there's a humanitarian community effort to Aquarius as well. So it's kind of a beautiful kind of shifting, right? Shifting away from the olds, from the white men in power, right? I think we'll see a shift in who's leading and who's ruling governments and in companies, right? Maybe more women in companies in I don't know, leadership positions, definitely, maybe even CEO over the next 20 years, right? Like in corporate America or whatever country, right? So yeah. And then, of course, like I said, Saturn and Pisces. So there's definitely a spiritual energy to that. It's also a good time to dream with Saturn and Pisces, right? Like they're creative, they're artists, they're the dreamers, they're very spiritual, very close to source, right? So really playing with that, I think we can see a lot of growth through artistic expression and through creativity as well, right? And this year and next year. So kind of art and spirituality, right? And can really help you. And then we also have Jupiter is it's in Taurus right now, but it'll move into Gemini in May. So that'll be like intellectual expansion and social, like more social, right? So it may be a surge of like social adaptability, more learning, more communication, more exchanges of ideas, more education, more writing, expanding social networks. Once we go into Gemini, which is probably perfect considering we were like locked up for a few years, right? So to have more of that kind of an energy. And then we have Neptune in Pisces as well, which Neptune rules Pisces. So that's definitely deepening your compassion, your spirituality, and your artistic expression this year. So that's what I mean. Like you have all this overlap, and then you're like, oh, wow, like, yeah, there's definitely a spiritual energy to this year of 2024, right? And the thing with the downside to Pisces energy is that they'll dream and dream and dream and may not follow through. Now, this doesn't mean that this happens in every case. This is just like the low road, right? So you want to make sure that you're like taking action, that you're making a plan, like in 2024, right? You want to dream, you want to connect with your soul, you want to be artistic, you want to express, you want to think differently, you want to fly your freak flag and be your own little self, but you also want to make sure that you're making a plan towards your intentions and making a plan towards your goals, and that you're showing up and doing that, right? Because the downside of Pisces energy is that you'll just dream and dream and dream and never actually kind of take action or never make movement for it, or you'll dream and then you'll make another dream and then you'll make another and then you don't take the action, right? So that's the one thing to kind of keep an eye on and watch out for, is that you pick a thing or two things, if you can handle two things at one time. And now you could do many things over the year. Maybe you have a 1 month goal or a 3 month goal or whatever, you know what I mean? You have to pick and choose wisely, is my point, as to what you're going to focus on, one thing at a time, and then make sure you're taking the action, right? It's very important to dream first, very important to tune into that intuition, but then take action, right? But we're going to have a lot of aha moments. We're going to have probably a lot of people developing psychic abilities or deepening their psychic abilities and things like that this year, right? I did just teach in 2023, I did a psychic development coaching program, and it was beautiful, like to see that unfold and to see how they woke up, right? Like intuition and spirituality is always an important component of everything. You can't just show up and do without tuning in first to what is it that I want? What does my soul want? What does my soul crave? What does my soul desire? Right? Again, good questions to journal on when we're finished here. So how does that sound now that I talked quickly about the placements in 2024? What do you guys think about that? Are you guys excited? Does it make sense? Does it feel good? Hi, Nels Angel. Hi, Bernadette. Happy New Year. All right. So yeah, it's going to be like basically 2024 is kind of like a period of significant intellectual, spiritual, and society shifts, right? And up leveling, right? And then we have the number 8 representing prosperity and things like that, and success and abundance, right? It's almost like a softening, like a getting in touch with your heart too, right? It's not just spiritual, right? It's about being heart-centered and getting in touch with your heart too. And, with the collective energy, like putting others first, and or I shouldn't say first, but well, depending on the situation, you always have to put yourself. It's a balance. It's a balance, right? You have to care about yourself. You have to show up and do the work for yourself because nobody else is going to, right? But it's also that balance of like thinking of the community, right? And not just yourself, being kind and compassionate to other human beings, right? So I do think it's kind of going to be a beautiful shift in that way. Especially since, like I said, we were isolated, right? It will be this shift into more of a community focus, like more mind and heart centered, right? And then just, of course, knowing you do have to do your individual work, right? Each person has to show up and do their individual work, connect with their own personal growth, their own spirituality. Then you show up in the community, right? And come together and make it. But if you don't do your own stuff, then what do you really have to offer to the community, right? Because then you're still kind of not quite up to the level, right? And it doesn't mean you have to be on a certain pace or whatever. It just means you have to be willing to show up and work on yourself, right? And you're here, so obviously you're interested in that somewhat, right? All right. Feels good, feels good, feels good. All right, we're going to go on to, yeah, tell me, what are your thoughts so far? And then I'm going to go on and do a card reading. I have so many notes here. I'm going to put in the comments the link in case you guys want to get, the personal reading, the personal 2024 reading. Is it showing up? Yeah. Oh, no, it's showing up funky. Oh well. I don't know. I put it in there. I'm not sure if it showed up correctly. Okay, I see great advice. I'm excited for a new beginning. Does make lots of sense. Okay, perfect. Let me see if I just copy this, if it will work, and then I'll start pulling cards for us. So I want you to think about what would your word for 2024 be, or if you had like one intention, what would your intention for 2024 be? So yeah, I'm gonna have to add the link later. It's not working for me. Anyway, yeah. So what energy, what feeling, what word, what intention would you choose for yourself for 2024 as a whole, right? You know, it's good to pick a word of the year, right? And see kind of what you sometimes it just shows up when you pick the word, right? You pick the word and it's just like, oh, okay. But think about it. Don't just randomly pick a word. Like, think about it. Like, what is that core desired feeling that you would most want to feel in 2024? Or Or what do you want to embody and call in 2024, right? That's the way to think about it, and to ask the questions and do some digging and some soul searching as to what word do you want to pick for yourself for 2024, right? Because I'll tell you guys a secret. I have manifested something already, well, technically before 2024, that I've been wanting for a while now, right? I'll tell you guys more about that later. I'm not going to go into that now, but so it's important to always be thinking, always be searching, always be paying attention, right? I see travel is my goal for 2024, resilience, movement. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Yep. So definitely start thinking about that, right? If you haven't already, pick a word, pick an intention, pick a thought for 2024. And now I have to decide what card deck I want to use for us here for our card reading for 2024. I'm going to do this Daily Angels card for our 2024 reading, and then I'm going to do a quarterly. And then I'll do a quarterly after that, okay? So we're going to do a 2024 overview card reading right now. Thank you. Nels Angel says, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, Nels Angel. So fun. And then reminder, don't forget to join me on the 11th for a new moon event as well, right? The first new moon of 2024. And one of the other energies I didn't talk about quickly is that the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra. So that balance between, for the energy of 2024 into some of 2025. But it's that energy between being the leader, being warrior, being passionate, showing up and getting it done, and being kind of focused. I don't want to say focused on self, but yeah, it's like you going after what you want is Aries energy, right? And then, so the North Node's in there. So it's a perfect time to get busy, get to work, you know what I mean? And then the South Node's in Libra, which is relationships essentially. And they are the mediator too, right? So it's this balance between, it's kind of perfect, like for the Aquarius too, energy is what I was saying, where it's like, well, it's more one-on-one relationships with Libra versus community, but it's still relationships, right? Versus self. So it's like that balance of taking care of yourself, going after what you want, and then having good relationships with others, right? It's that balance in between where you want both to always be flowing, right? I mean, balance in life is ideal. We don't want to be all work and no play. We don't want to only work on ourselves and not have the connection, right? We need connection. We need love, like all that's important. So that's kind of another energy focus for 2024 also. All right, so I'm going to do a 2024 card reading for us now. Is this resonating with all you ladies so far? All right, I'm going to pull the 6 cards and then I'll go and go through each one. Okay. My sun is in Libra, my rising is Aries. Yes. Perfect. Safe. That's the word of the year. What do you feel when you're safe? I would go a little deeper than that. Not that safety is not important, it is. But when you're safe, then what do you feel? Right? Because you could maybe up level it, right? This is just one of the comments that one of the words is safe. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Let me know if you guys know what I mean. Like, so safe is, I mean, we all want to be safe, obviously, right? And if, but what is it really? Is it security? Is it freedom? Is it peace? Is it love? Maybe you feel important. Maybe you feel connected. Maybe you feel powerful if you're safe. Maybe you feel abundant or rich or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, but safe from the negative energy of all things. And thanks for letting me, I'm kind of putting you on the spotlight here. So thanks for letting me play with you. I hope you're okay with that. But it'll help others to think about their words too, right? It'll help them to dig, just by talking about this with you. But you don't want to focus on removing negative things. You want to focus on what is the positive thing that you want, right? Like what is the most, and it doesn't have to be the most. I mean, we all want many things, right? But what is a really beautiful thing that you could call in, right? So maybe it's, I don't know, like maybe it's power, or maybe it's resilience, or maybe it's um, strength, or maybe it's love or peace. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It doesn't have to be the exact words I'm saying, but I would just think about it a little more and pick a word that has that lights you up, right? Like safe, it feels good, right? But then when you say like powerful, that has like a different energy to it, right? Like I'm so powerful that I will always be safe because I'm powerful enough to make sure that that happens, right? Um, so that's what I mean. So hopefully this is making sense for you guys, and hopefully it helps you think about your own words. Sometimes we play small. We do. We play too small in life. We aim too low, right? And we get to really think about like if you could only have a few feelings, right? If you can only have like 3 feelings, core desired feelings in 2024, like what would they be? Because if you limit it to 3, then safe might not be one of them. It'd probably be like happy, love, abundance, or peace, or whatever. I mean, again, faith, yeah, like creativity, passion, yeah, they're all good. You know what I mean? Just trying to make you guys dig a little deeper and think a little more. Was that helpful? Let me know if you're watching, if you're live or on the replay. Was it helpful that I kind of went through that process with one of you so that you can dig deeper on your own word and your own most desired feelings? Let me know in the comments. All right, I'm going to go into the 2024 card readings now. Yeah. All right, first card for 2024. It's our energy and our influences this year. And the first card that I got is Creative Projects. Creative Project. This is an angel deck, which I think is perfect when I talked about the Pisces influences, right? And even, look, by the way, even the Aquarius, right? Sometimes creativity isn't art, right? For some of us, it is. I like drawing and singing, and right. I mean, that's clearly like people would think of that as like an art form or an artistic expression, right? But some people might be really good at like coding or something, right? And they might get creative with it and think of new ways to do it. So you guys have to realize that creativity does not just mean art, and that it can mean so many different things, and that you have to think about in what ways are you creative, and what ways do you show up and think outside the box and have new ideas and explore, right? Because that's what creativity is. And it also kind of lights you up and you kind of have fun with it, right? So if our energy and influence is for the year revolve around a creative project, and by the way, it could be many creative projects with an S, it might be a series of creative projects. It might not be one project that lasts you the whole year, right? Or you could start a project and then start another one. But the point is to be immersed in this creative energy, which I mentioned when we were talking about Pisces, right? To be immersed in this creative energy for the year, because it's so important. It's so important. When you spend time in creative projects and pursuits, you're going to show up more focused at work. You're going to show up more intelligent at work. You're going to show up more productive at work, even if your work itself is not creative, right? I mean, bonus points if your work's creative, you know what I mean? But even if your work isn't, you allowing yourself to pursue other creative endeavors, and it could just be a hobby. It could just be something for fun, right? But you allowing yourself to pursue other creative endeavors is going to give you more focus, productivity, results, success in other areas. So I love that this is the card that came out for the energy and influences of this year, right? And by the way, you don't have to be an artist, or you don't have to be good at art to like doodle or express yourself through art. Or, I mean, God, how many people go to karaoke and they suck and they're terrible singers, but they love it and they enjoy it, right? So it's not about always how good you are at something. Sometimes you just need that creative expression just to have that creative expression. So that's another thing to think about. Like, if you enjoy it, then do it and don't worry about how good you are at it. That's another way to think about creativity for 2024, right? Because it's a group of us here. You're each creative in different ways, and there's so many different ways to approach it, right? So the card itself says your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. The angels are guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites your passion towards life. So I think that's beautiful. All right, the next card represents what we get to let go, where we get to let go, or what we get to let go of, however you want to think of it. What we get to let go of, essentially. And the card that I got here is ask, and they're saying like ask the angels for help, basically. So what we need to let go of is trying to do it on our own, right? What we get to let go of is trying to do it on our own, thinking we have all the answers, lone wolfing it, being too hard on ourselves because we don't know all the answers, right? And we instead get to tap into our spirituality, connect with our angels, get a coach, get a healer. Also pray to your angels, talk to your angels, ask them for what you want. This is what the card looks like, by the way. But you need to talk to them. You need to tell them what you want. You need to ask for their assistance and their help, right? So the card says, ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. And we as angels is an angel deck. So we're governed by many universal laws, and among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request, right? You have to tell them that you would like their help every day if you want, many times a day, right? Even if you did it just when you did your new moon event and you did it once a month and you're not doing it at all now, that would be a huge improvement, right? So remember to ask your angels. Remember to ask for their assistance to help you to get what you want. And thank them. Thank you, angels. Thank you for all the beautiful things that I have in my life. Thank you for all your protection, all your security, all the ways where you've been looking out for me. They like to be thanked. Start your prayer with a thank you. And then ask for what you want, right? All right. Yeah, I always love angel cards and positive cards, right? So the next card we're going to do represents what we need to know in order to overcome obstacles. So this next card placement is what we need to know in order to overcome obstacles. And the card that we have here is assertiveness. Assertiveness. So just like you have to ask your angels, it's very hard to get what you want if you don't open your mouth. It's very hard to get what you want if you don't go after it, right? I remember when I was management for a big box retailer, one of my employees, under me in my department said they wanted to move up, and I was like, have you ever told anyone? Like, did you tell the store manager? And he's like, no. And I said, okay, well, I'm glad you're telling me now. I said, but it's very difficult to get promoted if nobody knows that you want to get promoted, right? Like, you have to be vocal about it. You have to speak up for yourself, and you have to go tell people that you want to get promoted, right? And so, that's one example, but you need to be assertive. Like, shit is not just going to come to you because you're a good person, by the way, right? Plenty of terrible things happen to good people, right? Well, that's just life. Sometimes we go through the struggle to learn things, and right? And then we become stronger in the end, right? But I mean, you have to be focused. That's why we're here. Like, that's why you're here, right? Because you want to be focused. You want to know how to call in what you want. You want to manifest what you want. You want to have a beautiful, amazing life, right? Or you wouldn't be here. And, I mean, that's why I'm a coach, because I want to help people to transform, to shift their shit, to get clear, to reach their goals, like point blank, right? Um, and it's important, right? It's very important, but you can't do it by sitting back and praying and meditating, which I recommend that you do. But if that's all you did and you didn't go after what you wanted, and you didn't have a plan, and you didn't know what you wanted, or maybe you know what you want, but you're just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can. And you just sit around and think about it all the time. It's very difficult to get what you want, right? So what is really important for 2024 is to let go of lack of clarity, to let go of lack of taking action, to let go of lack of speaking up and asking for what you want, right? What is important is being assertive. And the card says, this situation can be healed gently and with love as you've requested. Yet there's also a need for your strength and truthfulness with other people involved. We will stand right behind you as you speak your truth, giving your strength and guiding your words, right? And it's important, and it's so important to speak your truth and stand up for yourself. And it's much easier to do it when you do the work and then you know who you are, so that when somebody says something that's nonsense, you know that it's nonsense. There's someone who recently said that I was abrasive to me. And I said, that's not true. I said, I'm not abrasive. That's not an accurate word to describe me, was my response. Calm. I didn't get triggered. I wasn't really offended, because that's not who I am, right? And when you've done all the work and you know who you are, someone could call you abrasive and you're like, yeah, no, that's not true. I am direct and I am honest, and I guess if you have a thin skin or you haven't worked on yourself at all, perhaps my directness like may have hurt their feelings or something like that. I don't know, but I know that I didn't say anything to hurt anyone's feelings. That's not how I am, right? So, but this is what happens when you're assertive, when you speak your truth, right? I said, I'm not abrasive. And it was like, there was a group of us. And then, I was like, I'm not abrasive. That's not the right word. And like, another person was like, yeah, no, you're not abrasive. Like, that's not the right word. And I'm like, I must have said something to hurt her feelings. But here's the thing. I'm not responsible for her feelings, right? So I said something that maybe triggered her and brought her back to something else, right? So then she labeled me as abrasive, which is completely incorrect. I am not abrasive. I am blunt, I am direct, I am honest. You know what I mean? But I am not abrasive. So this is what happens, right? When you know who you are, it's easy for you to speak up and be assertive and go after what you want. So I think that's a good example anyway. Okay. I appreciate your honesty. That card put my current situation into perspective for me, which is a good thing. That person was projecting. Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm not upset. I'm not offended. I'm not taking on her stuff. I don't care that she called me abrasive. I mean, I cared for like a second because I know it's not true, right? But literally, I'm not abrasive. That's not the right word. You know what I mean? But I am powerful and I am confident. So when I'm direct with someone who's maybe not powerful or confident, right, then that comes off a different way to them. But again, yes, she has her own stuff to work on, and that is her stuff. That's not me, right? Because I don't purposely hurt anyone's feelings, and I do watch my wording somewhat, even though I'm direct and honest. I won't say something that I think would hurt someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll phrase it a certain way, or I'll say a little, like, I do kind of watch, even though I'm direct and honest, because my goal is never to like hurt someone. Never. Like, that's not my intention. I want everyone to think they're amazing, because we all have that potential, right? To reach our full potential. So anyway, So I think you guys get the point. All right, the next placement for our cards is what we need to know in order to level up even more, right? So what do we need to know to really tune in to what we need for 2024 to make it an even bigger success? And the card that we have in this spot is to ground yourself. Which I admit is something that I work on, but something I could always do more of. You know what I mean? Like the Scorpio and the just the energy I have in my chart. Sometimes I like to be all like up here and dreaming and in touch with spirit, right? But you also have to bring it down to the ground, right? The grounding level, like putting your feet on the earth, connecting with nature, and being in your body and being in your human self too, right? It's that, meeting the soul and your body, right? The soul and the human meeting together, right? While we're living this life, right? So it's that connection of both. And the grounding can help you connect with spirit even more too, right? So grounding yourself is what we need to really focus on. Again, you may do this in different ways. Putting your feet on the ground is just a simple way to ground, like outside. Picturing yourself, you could do a little grounding prayer in the morning. You know what I mean? Like inside your house to ground. And again, just being in nature, doing those kind of things. So making sure we're taking time for that. I mean, you could listen to ocean sounds if it's winter here for me, right? So I probably won't be outside as much, but you could do other things to still kind of ground yourself and be in touch with nature and things like that, and your body and the human side of you too, right? So the card says, when you detach from awareness of your body and the physical world, you become ungrounded. Although it's pleasant to float heavenward, your attention and work are needed upon the earth. We're helping you to balance the spiritual and material so that you can enjoy a fulfilling life, right? So it's just, always knowing that you're a soul and a human. You're a soul and you're a human, right? And balancing that always. So beautiful, beautiful placement and reminder for us, I think. So the next card is what our angels want us to know, which they've kind of been telling us, but anyway. And we got kind of another one that relates to nature here. We got fresh air, right? So fresh air is what the angels want us to know, which means which I think kind of relates to the assertiveness too. It's also like nature and your body needs, the card saying your body needs the oxygen generated by grass, trees, plants, flowers. Spend some time outside and near Mother Nature, right? Open your curtains, let the light in, right? Especially in the winter, we could open the curtains, let the light in. But it's also kind of, I think, like that assertiveness and that Aquarius energy with the fresh air card, like be yourself, speak up, do your own thing. You know what I mean? Like be that breath of fresh air to others, right? To everyone around you, like be that breath of fresh air. Like don't blend in, don't fit in, don't go along with the status quo, right? Just because everyone else thinks so, if you don't think so. So be that breath of fresh air and breathe like excitement into your life too, is what I'm getting like intuitively for all of us for this card, right? Like breathe that excitement into your life. Like what would it feel like if you just always had that like that, oh, like that excitement, right? Like what is exciting for you? I mean, we had the creative at the beginning, right? And that's definitely part of it, right? Creativity can definitely get us excited and passionate and all the things and like alive, like feeling alive and juicy, right? The fresh air is also like, what's juicy? Like what feels good? Like what's going to have you like floating on a cloud almost, right? When you think of fresh air. So I want you to think about what is that for you too. That's what our angels want us to know. Like, shit, we're only here for so long. Like sometimes it feels like forever, right? If we're going through something tough, but when you're having fun, it just flies by like that, doesn't it? And you're like, and before you know it, 20 years have gone by and we'll be in 2044 thinking like, oh wow, Pluto just left Aquarius, right? And it's like, what? So don't waste it. Like don't waste any moment and just really kind of open your eyes every day with like the possibility of like, what can you create today? And how can you breathe new life into things? And how can you be inspired today? And how can you inspire others today? And how can you motivate others today? Right. So that's how I see that fresh air card. It's not just nature, although obviously we need the grounding in the nature because we had that in the card before, but we also need excitement. I see it as excitement and possibility and like breath of fresh air. Right. All right. I see some of you guys really like that card. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. The last card we have here for 2024 is our divine potential in 2024 is how I named this placement for this card spread I created. Our divine potential in 2024. So the card we have for that is entrepreneur. And guess what? With everything we have going on with the Pisces energy, with the Pluto's and Aquarius, now's the fucking time. Like, right? If there was ever a time for you to either start your business or grow your business or whatever phase you're at, you know what I mean? Like now is the time to do it. And everything's aligning, right? With the whole number 8 years, success and abundance with Aquarius, with this Aquarius Pisces energy. I kind of love it. You know what I mean? It's just really setting the foundation, setting the energy for some big things to happen. You know what I mean? So let me know in the comments how many of you do want to focus on entrepreneurship in 2024. Put B-I-Z in the comments if you want to focus on entrepreneurship, on your business, on your career in 2024. It's just a little bit of a shorter word, right? Put B-I-Z for business in the comments if you want to focus on that in 2024. I'm just curious whether you're live or on the replay. Let me know. Put biz in the comments. I want to know because this is our divine potential in 2024 as a group, right? So I want to know how many of you here are actually interested in that, right? All right, let's see. Whew. Taking my business to the next level. Getting goosebumps, biz. Okay. Biz. Okay. All right, it's starting to come through now. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So this is a beautiful time to do it, you know? I mean, now's always the perfect time to be honest, but the energy that 2024 is bringing us and creating, it's like definitely the time, right? So the card itself says, self-employment suits your disposition and intentions. Working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. We are your co-workers and teammates who remain loyally by your side to ensure your success in all ways. So let me ask you, since that's our potential outcome card, what is it that you think you need in order to make your business a success? Or what do you think you're lacking in making your business a success, right? I would love to know in the comments. Can even feel free to DM me if you want to give me like a longer answer to that. But yeah, put it in the comments. Like, what do you think you need in order to make your business a success in 2024? Or what do you think you're lacking? Or like, what don't you know, right? Or what's not working in order for you to make your business a success in 2024? Like, is it lack of clarity? Is it lack of focus on what you want to do? Like how you want to show up and serve? Is it just that it's new and you haven't done it? Is it that you're like stuck at a plateau and you just can't get the business to the next level? Is it that you want to shift your focus? Is it that you just haven't done it? Like, I don't know. There could be other things too. So I'm just throwing out some ideas. So let me know. I didn't plan on asking that, but I think it's a very important question since we're getting this as our divine potential for 2024. And especially since, like I said, it's an 8 years, prosperity is success. So everyone has the potential to like make their business grow this year, right? So I would just love to know what for you guys you think you need or don't know in order to make your business grow, because I could make a free workshop or a live or something like that to then kind of dig in on those things that you think you need to make your business, right? So let me know in the comments what you think you need, because like I said, I can do that as a future live to give you guys some juicy information and motivation and maybe clarity, or it depends what you guys need, right? Lacking my own place. Okay. That's changing. Yep, yep. Yes, momentum. Okay. Structure and organization. All right, keep putting those comments in for what you think you need for your business. And I'm going to pull a different deck of cards to do quarterly card pulls for 2024. What do I want to do? What deck? What deck? What deck? Oh. All right. So what structure and organization means? You already know what you're going to focus on, what problem you're going to solve, or what service or product you provide for your business. I'm responding to one comment, but all of you can think about this too, right? So do you already know what the product is that you're offering or service and who you're helping? And have you started yet? Okay. So is it marketing and messaging and getting leads and clients, or is it just the maybe it's your structure, like how you show up every day and work the business, right? Anyway, let me know. All right, so I'm going to do quarterly. So this is for January, February, March. I'm going to pull 2 cards for each quarter for the year and give us just an energy, since I talk so much about astrology and stuff. Okay. All right, so for January, February, March 2024, what do we need to know? All right, I got home. We get the first card we got for January, February, March. I got the home card. It was the first card we got here. So it's comfort, right? Comfort, what feels like what makes you feel at home, what makes you feel good, it's almost like what skills and abilities do you already know you have and you're good at, right? That you can kind of build upon and utilize on. And then it's also about home, like spending time with those you care about most, right? So kind of a foundation type thing, and also like spending, and they can be blood related or not blood related, right? But just who are the people that mean the most to you that you would love to kind of spend the most time with, right? The other card we got is make a decision. It says, are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance, pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it. So not putting yourself last, right, is the first thing I'm hearing. So to pay attention for in the beginning of the year that you are putting yourself first, that you are not putting your own well wishes to the side just to please another, which will make sense with the home card. While it's important to spend time with those you care about most, it's not good if you're putting all their needs first and you're not taking care of you, right? So that'll be definitely something to kind of keep an eye on and watch out for, and make sure that you're balancing that time with family and what they want versus what you want, and making sure you have a good balance of time for yourself, time for the things you want and enjoy most, versus time with them or what they want and need most, right? And it has to be like a two-way, like a reciprocal thing, right? And if you don't take care of yourself, you'll be depleted and you won't have any time or energy to really go after what you want and make 2024 an amazing year, right? So if you start off the year by just pouring into everyone else, it's going to be extremely, 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 extremely difficult to make your own goals happen, to make your own intentions come true, to build your business, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, like that card just said, or you want to grow your business, it's going to be really, really difficult to do that if you're not taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself when you have a business. You have to work on your own personal growth and spiritual growth and mindset, right? And then it's also going to be difficult to nurture the relationships that you want to nurture, or get clients or whatever, right? If you are not taking time for yourself and you're just pouring, pouring, pouring into others, right? So I think this is kind of good it's almost like a prescription, right? It's almost like a prescription to make sure we're taking time for ourselves, and to make sure that we're making decisions based on what we want, need, deserve, and are dreaming of. Like, what is our soul longing for, right? So again, it's really important to tune in with yourself, to connect with your intuition, to tune into that spirituality, to make time for creativity, right? So that you're really connected with yourself and you're not making decisions based on other people and not knowing your own soul, heart, voice, and mind, right? It's really, really key in order to achieve your goals, your intentions, your wishes, your dreams, that you are working on yourself, that you are spending time with yourself. That, again, if somebody tells you you're abrasive, you'll be like, no, that's not me. That's not an accurate word to describe me. Like, that's not who I am, right? You'll know clearly who you are. And when you know that, it's very easy to make a decision, and it's very easy to make the decision that's right for you, right? I mean, we'll always have times in life where we might have to think about it a little more, and you got to think about people and work and this and that, and right, there's always factors, but for the most part, if you know who you are and you know what you want, you worked on yourself, or you're doing the work, it's a lot easier to be decisive and to make a decision, because you know what's right for you and you know what's in the best interest of yourself and others, right? You're not just going to do something just to please somebody or just to shut somebody up, right? You're going to choose it based on what you know is right for you and what you know you deserve, right? The end of the card says you deserve it. You deserve it. Damn right. You deserve everything and more. Right? How many of you could work on the belief that you deserve it? Let me know in the comments. Like, abundance is your birthright, right? But how many of you think like, oh, I don't know, like you get wobbly? And by the way, it's perfectly normal to be wobbly in certain things as you venture out to do new things, right? Like starting a business, for example, right? Good example. You're going to be a little unsure. I'm not saying you'll be like 100% confident if it's something new to you, but you have to, inside your soul, be like, yeah, I want to do this. There must be a reason I want to do this. So I must have the potential to be great at it, even if I'm like a little unsure about it right now, right? And that's different than like, I'm just gonna do what they want. I'll do my shit later. Maybe I'll do my shit in 2026. Maybe I'll focus on me and my goals then, because I got to take care of them now, right? It's so easy to get sidetracked and to think that you're doing the right thing, especially as a woman, I think, especially as a mother or wife or as an employee or whatever, right? It's so easy to just be like, oh, and almost natural, right? Like we almost have to break the habit. And again, there's times, of course, you're going to put your family first sometimes, right? But if you're always putting your family first and you're not taking care of you, and you're burnt out because you're running around doing all the things and trying to be the good little girl, right? I think what I really do is I break that good little girl syndrome, right? As a coach, like I get you to realize like you're not a little girl anymore, and you don't have to just do what people think or what you should do or what your dad told you should do or your mom said you should be or this and that, right? I get you to realize who you actually are, who you want to be, and get you to go there as a coach, right? So, and get you to fucking bring it home and make it happen and have the actual results, right? Um, so yeah, I think deserve it is a very key point. Deserving it, priorities, balance, not people pleasing, right? And like I said, you can be on different levels of this. Maybe you're a chronic people pleaser. Maybe you've worked on it a little, right? Maybe you've stopped doing it in some ways, but then you realize how, well, in other ways, you didn't, I feel like I had some lessons. I wrote a long post. I don't know if you guys seen it about choosing me for, like choosing me in 2023, right? Um, and God, like I've been working on myself and doing what I want, right? So it's not like I haven't been choosing me by any means, but there's another level to things sometimes, right? Like, oh, maybe I wasn't playing fully out in this area because I was focusing on this instead, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that like, oh, you're a chronic people pleaser and everything's a mess and da da da. It just means that there's a certain area or space where you get to you get to pay attention more and you get to put yourself first and you get to realize that you deserve it and you get to embody that you deserve it and you get to go after it like full force, full-heartedly, right? Um, so I just want to say that distinction too, right? All right, let's do April, May, and June. Is that resonating? I see some of you saying absolutely, yes, knowing what you want, feeling you deserve it. And then Nadine is saying, absolutely, I do that as a coach. So thanks, Nadine. Yay. All right. April, May, June, 2024. The first card we got here is the Gentle Gardener. So this is I mean, it's the number 2 card in the deck. So it's the beginning, right? We're at the beginning of a new year. Perfect. It's the beginning. It's breathing life into what you want. Again, that kind of fresh air energy, right? It's like breathing life into what you want. It's like setting the intentions. It's like getting in that space, right? Where you can put your whispers out into the universe to make them happen, right? To really focus on your intentions and your manifestations. And it's like, it starts with you. It starts with that peace. It starts with like a meditation practice or a gratitude practice or journaling or whatever it is that gets you connected and gets you centered and gets you in that good space so that you can whisper your desires as you enter to anyone, whoever, right? You just whisper your desires and maybe shout them. Like you don't always have to whisper, but this card just has a calm, at peace type of energy with who you are. Acceptance is such a beautiful thing. And kind of part of manifesting too, where you have to really accept who you are and where you're at first and kind of be good with that, even if it's not all of it may be exactly what you want, by the way, but to be kind of sort of good with it at least, right? While also breathing and being who you want at the next level too, right? So like accepting where you are, but also tapping into that energy of who you want to be, who you get to be, or who or what you want to call in, right? So that's kind of the energy of this card here, right? And then the next card we have is prioritize self-care. You do so much for others. It's time to experience the love you deserve and let others help you. That's why I kind of giggled when I pulled the cards, because it's talking about self-care, and I kind of talked about that in the last two cards, right? So we're carrying this theme over for April, May, and June 2024 to also make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? But this card is also saying let others help you, right? So again, not doing it all on your own, not thinking you know all the answers, not right. Like, yes, use your angels, but use other people, humans as well, and let them help you. You do not have to do it all alone. That's not how it works. So ask for help, be willing to ask for help. Set your ego aside, right? Set your pride aside. And there are people who know things and have more experience than you, right? Even with coaching, like how many of you, I mean, obviously I've worked with, many of you already, but how many of you like have not gotten a coach yet or whatever, you know what I mean? You haven't worked with anyone. Like, that's another way to let somebody help you, because guess what? It's going to take you 20 years, if not longer, to figure things out all on your own. And you're not going to figure them out as well as you could if you had a coach, right? So it's just another example of how, like, you need to let others help you. You can't just do it all on your own. So let me know if that's resonating for you guys. One comment says, I'm slowly opening up and asking for help. Yes, beautiful. All right. So the next we have July, August, and September of 2024 next. And the first card we have for that is Goblins. So this is really about kind of, what's the word? It's your negative thoughts. It's your limiting beliefs, right? It's all those little things that you thought you were beyond and pushed down and buried. And it's your fears, right? Like, it's all those things, right? The little goblins. So it may be like, okay, because this is July, August, September 2024, right? So it may be like, oh, you half the year's gone, right? And maybe your mind's going to go into, oh shoot, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, right? I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Oh, what do I gotta and then you start beating yourself up a little bit, right? So it's going to be really key during these months to really notice your negative thoughts, to really notice where your energy's off, to notice where you're not feeling great, to notice what things or thoughts or areas that you're not feeling great in. This way you can course correct and not sit in the shit and not keep telling yourself that you're no good and that you don't deserve it, because that's not true, because we got in the first 6 months of the year already that you deserve it. You deserve everything, right? It already told us that. So that's not true, right? We all have negative thoughts and they're all a bunch of bullshit. They're not true, right? So you get to use them as fuel and stepping stones and guidance to let you know, like, what you get to double down on or where you get to go, right? So if you have negative thoughts about not being a good entrepreneur, then you better start doing some things, like take little steps, have a client here and there, take a client for free if you're brand new to business, right? Do a few free sessions, gain that experience and confidence. If it's about being a mom or something, set aside some quality time with your kids, and also make the affirmations for yourself that contradict the negative thoughts, right? Tell yourself you're an amazing mom, that you're a talented entrepreneur or healer or coach or whatever it is that you want to be, right? So you have to like do the work and double down to counteract the negative thoughts. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if it makes sense how I explained this goblin cards, right? Put makes sense or however you want to say it in the chat. Let me know if that was helpful for you guys. Instead of just letting like all that stuff take over, it's really about, what do you do now that you have this, right? Because like I said, a new endeavor, a new venture, a new whatever, right? You're going to you're going to be like, oh shit, like, can I do this? Right? Your human brain always is going to go there, even if you've had success many times. And by the way, the most successful people have failed and failed and failed and failed, right? On their way to success. So you can't get to success without failing, right? So if you think they don't have goblins, you're incorrect. We all have the goblins, right? So it's important about recognizing what are those and how do you counteract it? How do you double down? How do you like really go in on your mindset and your energy and your spiritual, like whatever, like you got to figure out what works for you, right? And that's part of the reason why I come at it. Like when I coach, I come at it from mindset. I come at it from spirituality. I come at it from a healing perspective, right? I come at it from different ways, so that there's an identity shift, right? So then you change your perception of yourself and your belief in yourself, right? Which is key, because without that, by the way, kind of hard to make your goals happen, right? Kind of hard to get the 2024 that you want, or 25, 26, 20, whatever, right? So that positivity, while also being real with what's going on, what are the thoughts, what are the goblins, right? That positivity, knowing you can surpass it, is a piece of the puzzle that's really important, right? Yes. And the card that we got to go with it, with the goblins card for July, August, September, is you will manifest what you need. So it's kind of interesting that we have this card alongside with the goblins card, right? For July, August, September, which proves that you can overcome these goblins, right? And it doesn't mean like you'll never have negative thoughts, right? But they'll get quieter or calmer or be different, or maybe you'll just realize they're fucking bullshit and they won't really affect you even though they pop up, right? Either way, it's a win-win-win. Is everyone saying hydrate it? Oh, I've been talking for so long. All right, so you will manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing the assistance you need, right? So you have to know that it's done, that it's already here. I do have a manifestation digital course too, if you guys are interested in that, which kind of teaches you, you know, some of the stuff, the process more in depth, right? But you can't cry about not having the thing all the time and complain that you don't have it and how much you miss it or how much you want it or how much life sucks without it, and then manifest it. Now, it doesn't mean you can never say those things, by the way, because we're human and we think things and that happens. But if you are constantly saying how you don't have, if you're constantly thinking about the lack of, it's extremely difficult to manifest what you need. So you need to act as if you already have it. What's the feeling? Again, I talked about this earlier. How would you feel if you had the thing that you want? So figure out a way to get that feeling in another way now, so that you can manifest the feeling now and act as if you have the other thing that you want, right? Does that make sense? Let me know. Is that landing for you guys? If you're single and you want to be in a relationship, you can't keep talking about how you're alone and you can't find anyone and men suck and men are creeps and there's no good men out there and what the F, and you know what I'm saying? You get the point. So if you talk like that every day and you want to manifest a relationship, you're not going to manifest a relationship, right? So you can tune into the love you have for your friends or the love you have for your family, right? Or showing compassion and kindness to others in your world and tuning into the energy and vibration of love, even though it's a little different, it's not romantic love, you can tune into that energy and vibration instead of saying that, oh, fuck, I'm alone, right? So that's what I mean by don't focus on what you don't have and act as if. So does that make it a little easier to understand? Well, maybe you guys already knew that, but I'm sure somebody needed to hear that. Let me know, is that helpful? All right. Now we're going to do October, November, December of 2024. The first card we have is Spirit of Place here. So this is October, November, December. And I mean, there's a grounding energy to this too, right? Like the trees there and the leaves and again, I really feel the balance of connecting with your soul and earth and your body and your human, right? That balance of connecting with both is going to be really important, but also dreaming big and going big and being strange and just like setting higher intentions and really like I was saying earlier, like being the little weirdo, right? Like I said, I don't care if people view me as weird. I'm just me and I'm going to do my thing, right? And I'm so connected with my spirituality that those who don't agree, just like they just kind of don't say anything. I mean, some people will, I guess, sometimes, right? But a lot of people just go like, oh, whatever. Like she believes it, I'm just going to be quiet, right? So, it's just really like honoring who you are and who you want to be, right? While also embracing your human side. I love that movie. What's the movie? Oh God, I can't think of the name right now. But basically it's like she hated the qualities in herself and she thought they were terrible, like traits that she had. And then in the end, she like realized that they were good, that they were useful, right? That these traits that she thought were terrible were useful. So it's like embracing that shadow side of yourself so that you can use them for good in a way, right? Like maybe you tweak them a little, but there's kind of a use to it all, right? And loving all parts of yourself are good, right? So the next card is Get Your Power Back for October, November, December 2024. Get your power back. It says you have forgotten who you are. You are a child of the divine. So take back your power. And I mean, it's a wise, and kind of an older, wiser looking woman in this card, right? So it's almost like a reminder to like everything you have is within you, right? So it's a reminder to just really embody that fully and to really go after what you want. And the card says you have forgotten who you are, but you don't have to forget who you are, right? You have this reading ahead of time. So when it comes to October, November, December, again, you can double down on, I mean, you've been working on this all year. We've been talking about this all year. It's in all the cards here, right? Like to take care of yourself, to know yourself, right? So by the time you get to October, November, December, you're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm me. I'm wonderful. I'm just going to call that in. I'm going to pray to my angels and it's going to come. And I'm going to manifest it. And if it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen later. Right? Surrender is another key component. As kind of also what I talked about in my long post, my 2023 post. Is that like surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means you go after what you want, you show up, you show up, you show up. And then it's kind of like in divine timing after that, right? You might get it right away. You might have to wait for it. It might look a little differently, right? So we have to trust that there's something bigger at play here and that God has something better for us, or there's a reason why we're delayed or we failed or it didn't work out, right? So when you know that you're powerful and you show up and you do all the things and you're working on yourself and you're taking care of yourself and you're, just showing up fully, right? Then you can be surrendered and even if, your human side can get pissed, that's normal. But then you surrender and you go, okay, there's a bigger reason, right? I'm so pissed that I was late for work today, but maybe it avoided me from getting into an accident, right? I was delayed to protect my own safety, right? But you don't always know that, right? So that's my point. There's bigger things in play. that you often don't know about or why, right? And then something even better is going to happen next. So it's really important to remember who you are, to get in touch with your power. And by the way, a Pluto represents power, right? And we have Pluto moving into Aquarius. So there could be some power struggles, right? I said that earlier, meaning you're either going to give away your power, or you might be too forceful or controlling, or someone else is going to be too forceful or controlling, or you're going to not own your own power and speak up, right? And hopefully these are little situations where you can just recognize it and pivot right away. But it is going to be important for you to recognize your own power, recognize your own gifts, speak up for yourself, use your own voice to truly step into that power and show up as the amazing, beautiful women. And there's a few men in this group or man that you are, right? Very important. So being in touch with that, not being timid. Like, I feel like there's no room to be timid in this year, right? It's like you get to fully own and embrace who you are. Power doesn't mean forceful or rude. It means right? And you can still be loving, right? But if you don't agree or get along with everyone, and it's fine too, right? So be in your power, pay attention to power, pay attention to the power struggles in the last few months of the year. And, since we have that spirit card, get back to your center, get back to your core, ground yourself, and then step back into your power again, right? So let me know if that was helpful. If any of you guys are interested in the individual reading, it's on sale until the 11th only. So you can type 2024, put my 2024 reading in the comments. I will put the link in there, but at least you can type something in the comments so that I know that you're interested, and we can go from there. I have a few spots open for one-on-one coaching clients at this time. If you really want to make 2024 amazing, I've talked about kind of what I do a little bit as a coach as we've been doing this reading. So if you really want to level up, get clear, release the past, go after what you want, get focused, and make it fucking happen, let's fucking chat, because now's the time to do it. It's the year of prosperity. I don't know why you would wait till 2025 or even mid 2024 when you can get it done now, right? One-on-one coaching is going to provide you the deepest transformation, the biggest transformation. And then I may have another option or two available too. So if you're interested, just put coach me. There you go. Put coach me in the comments if you're interested in learning more about that. And I hope and wish you all a beautiful and prosperous 2024. I would love to make it even beautiful and brighter for you if you're interested in the coaching. So put coach me in the comments, and I will again be doing a new moon event on January 11th. So stay tuned for that. Plus I'll have a free challenge coming up soon. So keep your eyes peeled in the Facebook group for that. All right. Awesome. 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 All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful year, a wonderful life, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.